Seahawks news and rumors and instant reaction after a nice win by the Seahawks. They get back on track, improved to 6-1 with a win over the 49ers with a score that wasn't as close as the scoreboard might actually indicate. The Niners had a bunch of fourth quarter points, but this game was dominated by the Seahawks. So before we break down some big-time players and the news and rumors here, give me your one-word reaction to the Seahawks win over the San Francisco 49ers. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section here in terms of your one-word reaction. I was going to go with dominant, and then the Niners kind of clawed their way back into it as things went along. So let me know what you're thinking in the comments section. Hey, maybe your simple one-word reaction is just DK, because he was absolutely unstoppable against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, his overall game was pretty damn impressive. His first half was nothing short of incredible, where his first 6 targets went for 6 receptions, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Metcalf looked like the best receiver in the NFL. He was nothing short of incredible, awesome, all of that. Look, he is now, I think we have to acknowledge it, one of the best players and one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. The way he's producing, the just sheer, uncoverability, as I make up a word, I think there, that he has shown this season is awesome. Now, the Niners made the classic mistake of forgetting to put 3 cones out on the football field, but every team seems to be making that mistake. And, of course, when it comes to the receiver, you also want to discuss the quarterback as well. Russell Wilson had himself a very impressive day. In the end, maybe not the most, volume stats in terms of the yards, but he threw for a bunch of touchdowns, and he looked the part of an NFL MVP candidate, and I still think is the front runner for that award. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes lit up a trash Jets team. Let's not overhype that. Wilson has been incredible this season. So will he win MVP this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. It's a Y for yes, an N for no. Will Russ win MVP? I do want to talk about the backfield, not including Russ here, for the Seattle Seahawks, namely the absence of both Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde. Now, in the end, it didn't really end up mattering too much. Carson missed this game. He was ruled a 50-50 game time decision. He did not play, coming off that foot injury in Week 7. Carlos Hyde also inactive, with Travis Homer actually a little bit banged up. It ended up being the DJ Dallas show for the Seahawks, and was he super efficient? No, not really, but he did score twice, and that matters for the Seattle Seahawks. They got enough production out of Dallas. They got enough of what they were looking for in an offense that is built around letting Russell Wilson cook. I think that's what matters in the end for the Seahawks. And they were really banged up in this game. They had a bunch of key players out. We mentioned Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde. Travis Homer was not 100% and basically didn't do a whole lot out there. One of their key guards, Mike Iupati, he was out as well with a back injury. In the end, it simply did not matter. The Seahawks win 37-27. Now, what does have me concerned for the future is that Jamal Adams again did not play, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, week 4, he'll be fine. Okay, well, they gave him to the bye, it's fine. And now here we are after week 8, and Adams is still not back out there for the Seahawks. I don't know if this injury is worse than what Seattle has been letting on, but it's definitely worse than what they thought. Because if they thought Adams was going to miss this amount of time, they would have put him on IR. It's a 3-week time frame for a player to come back off of IR. Instead, he's still been out since week 3. And the Seahawks had the success that they did, minus Nick Mullins all of a sudden looking incredible, once Jimmy Garoppolo left the game with his ankle injury, without Shaquill Griffin, without Jamal Adams, and without Ugo Amadi. All of those players were out in this game for the Seattle Seahawks. They did not have Adams. They did not have Griffin. They did not have Amadi. Those are 3 of your top 5 secondary players, not to mention Marquise Blair's already out for the season. And they still totally shut down Jimmy Garoppolo, and then, Mullins had his way after the game ended. They also didn't have Benson Mayowa, and they still sacked Jimmy Garoppolo 3 times. They brought a little bit more pressure, and it really did pay off. One of the guys coming on that pressure on those blitzes was Bobby Wagner. 2 sacks in this one, and 3 tackles for loss overall. He had one of the better games I've seen him play in a long time, and I've seen Bobby Wagner have a bunch of really good games for this Seahawks football team. Now, these numbers don't look as good because, Nick Mullins came into the game in the fourth quarter and threw for like 238 yards. But before that, this was easily, by a significant margin, the best defensive showing by this Seahawks team this season. I mean, the potent Niners ground game had like 52 yards on the ground. That's nothing. So who gets the game ball in this one? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Who do you think it is? Is it Russell Wilson? Is it Bobby Wagner? Is it DK Metcalf? There are a lot of different routes you can go here, so let me know what you think in the comments section. We love to get your guys' reaction here because we are a show for the people. We do videos almost every single day, constantly giving you guys updates on what's going on, even though I was big time wrong on when Adams would return. But the Seahawks, I think pretty clearly right now, are the best team in the NFC. So if you want to stay up to date, hit that big red button and subscribe. I did want to hit this brief trade rumor here for you guys around Aldon Smith because the Seahawks, per NFL Network, called the Cowboys about a trade for Aldon, who, as a reminder, had 3 sacks against Seattle earlier this year. I will also make note, has not had a sack since then. Maybe that will change on Sunday Night Football. That remains to be seen. I'm not sure if the offer was before or after the trade that was made by the Seahawks adding Carlos Dunlap. Now, maybe it came before, maybe it came afterwards. These are Aldon Smith's stats entering the Sunday night game for the Dallas Cowboys. Had the 4 sacks. Again, 3 of them came against Seattle, 3 tackles for loss. He's been 3 sacks against Seattle, and then Smith's stats entering the Sunday night game for the Dallas Cowboys. I've been impressed by what Aldon has done, relatively speaking, and I think Seattle calling about Aldon was a very smart decision. One we mentioned, by the way, in our Seahawks trade targets video, which came out, of course, before that report from the NFL Network. I like the addition of Dunlap. He'll be able to play next week for the Seahawks. I think that'll be a key boost for a team that has found a way to want to win 6 games despite having a not great, let's call it that, pass rush so far. I've made some big-time money this year betting on the Seahawks. They've done a great job this season, and you can make some money as well with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code that you see on your screen. It is Seahawks125. That 125% deposit bonus, it's exactly what you think it is. You put down $100, which is the minimum, by the way, to get that deposit bonus, or, more than $100. They'll get you 125% of that. So extra money, just in case you get a few bets wrong here and there. That's available at chatsports.com/bet, and use that promo code Seahawks125. More defense discussion here because, how could we not? DJ Reed, who I've mentioned many a time on the show before because I liked him coming out of Kansas State. This was the DJ Reed revenge game for the Seahawks. His first game back from his injury that cost him the first, we'll say, 7 weeks of the NFL season. Had an early interception for Seattle, a nice pass breakup late in that game as well. Reed played a lot with one Ugo Amadi out because of his own injury, and I was pretty darn impressed by the job that DJ Reed did. Was he perfect? No, of course not. Did he allow some catches late in the game? Sure, because all of a sudden the Niners offense woke up once Nick Mullins entered the game. But I think having DJ Reed is a big deal for this team because it gives them an extra boost in the secondary. He can play some safety. You saw him do a pretty good job at nickel. I wonder, even when Ugo Amadi returns, is he going to remain the starter? Or did DJ Reed do enough against his old team in San Francisco to potentially keep that job or at least earn snaps going forward? That remains to be seen, but it's still a good problem to have if you're the Seahawks.